Well, here's the thing. In the corner of the office, your colleague scrolls through photos of weekend getaways, brunches at rooftop restaurants, and designer sneakers. Every post a performance, every like, a small applause. Meanwhile, across the street, James unlocks the door to his modest townhouse. No fanfare. No announcement. Just the quiet satisfaction of handing over the final payment in cash, settling a decade-long mortgage. The difference is subtle, almost invisible, but it's there. One seeks validation, the other cultivates security. We live in a world that equates volume with value. The louder the car, the brighter the social media posts, the more extravagant the gestures, the more impressive the illusion. Yet behind that noise lies stress, debt, and fleeting satisfaction. Real wealth doesn't need commentary. It grows in moments no one notices, in choices made without an audience, in patience that never needs applause. Calm people understand that attention is costly. They make decisions quietly, without validation, without performing. And over time, those small choices compound into a reality that the loudest spenders rarely reach. Noise draws eyes but not freedom. Flash draws envy, not resilience. Security, independence, and true power favor the patient, the deliberate, the silent. You might start questioning everything the world tells you about success. If everyone is chasing visibility, could the real prize be elsewhere? Could quiet decisions, restraint, and subtle compounding outperform the grand gestures of spectacle? By the end of this journey, you'll see why patience and silence create more lasting wealth than attention ever could. Principle 1. The power of quiet decisions. Emma skips the daily coffee shop latte, not out of deprivation but of choice. Each day, she places the $5 she would have spent into a separate account. No one sees it. No one comments. Months pass. A year later, the small ritual transforms into an $1,800 emergency fund, ready when her car breaks down or an unexpected medical bill arrives. Wealth accumulates not in dramatic gestures but in small, deliberate actions repeated over time. Quiet decisions, the purchases you forego, the money you save unseen, quietly grow into security. The world notices the flashy, but calm people notice the power of incremental accumulation. Every day is an opportunity to choose restraint over impulse, to favor long-term stability over immediate thrill. Emma's $5 a day isn't just dollars. It's patience, foresight, and discipline woven into her life. Each choice reinforces her independence, her capacity to act without reliance on the chaos around her. This is the quiet engine behind wealth, a process almost invisible to outsiders, yet transformative for the person practicing it. Because wealth compounds in silence, the path is understated. It isn't exciting. It isn't visible. But as you notice the gap between spectacle and substance, the realization begins to settle. Restraint is not deprivation. It is freedom. And freedom, when earned daily, quietly shapes your future. Principle 2. Emotional discipline over impulse. When Michael receives a bonus, the urge to indulge is strong. A watch, a gadget, a new suit, the temptation is immediate. But he pauses, considers the quiet path of investing half into a low-cost index fund. 10 years later, that restrained decision grows far beyond what a moment of impulse could have purchased. Calm people treat money as a tool, not a trophy. They resist social pressures, ignore fleeting trends, and act with foresight. Emotional reactions, fear, envy, excitement, are acknowledged, not obeyed. By managing impulses, the calm investor allows the subtle power of compounding to unfold undisturbed. Michael's choice is simple. Not flashy. Not dramatic. But the quiet discipline produces results that the loudest gestures rarely match. Emotional restraint turns financial decisions into long-term advantage. Hype may dazzle, attention may sparkle, but control endures. The lesson isn't numbers, it's presence. Wealth grows when you align actions with calm, consistent thought, not reaction. And once you notice this pattern, the noisy urgencies of the world fade. The next chapter waits quietly, ready to reveal the advantage of patience over performance. Principle 3. Invisible investments, visible results. David prefers dividend-paying stocks over trending cryptocurrency coins. He doesn't announce his portfolio. Each quarter, dividends arrive quietly, unnoticed by his colleagues. Years later, his wealth grows steadily, a stark contrast appears chasing the latest hype. Investment is a mirror of temperament. Calm people choose quality over spectacle, reliability over excitement. They know that the loud signals of wealth, flashy purchases, trending stocks, conspicuous assets, rarely produce enduring security. Subtle, consistent investments, invisible in the short term, yield results the market cannot take away. David's path illustrates the quiet power of patience. Wealth isn't a performance to broadcast, it's a structure to inhabit. Visible results may take years, but by avoiding the pull of distraction, calm individuals protect the integrity of their growth. This approach teaches a deeper lesson. The most significant advantages are rarely apparent in the moment. In silence, compounding works. In patience, progress emerges. And as you understand this, you begin to see the next principle: the power of boundaries. Principle 4, the strength of saying no. Sophia declines invitations to expensive trips and trendy dinners. Friends laugh, label her as frugal or aloof. Yet she channels that time and money into building skills, investing in projects, and creating passive income streams. No one notices, but her future self does. Saying no is a quiet act of power. Every refusal preserves time, energy, and resources. Each decision protects the conditions necessary for wealth to thrive. Calm people understand that distraction is expensive, and boundaries are a hidden form of financial intelligence. Sophia's no is intentional, not reactive. Each refusal compounds alongside her savings and investments, creating leverage unseen by the casual observer. Discipline, choice, and clarity converge to build long-term advantage. The value of restraint becomes clear. Freedom isn't earned through indulgence, but through mindful selection. Because once you master the art of saying no, you're prepared to embrace patience, the next silent force behind wealth. Principle 5. Patience outlasts hype. Lucas resists a trending stock tip. Friends buzz with excitement. The noise is loud, intoxicating, tempting him to act. But he sits quietly, continuing to invest steadily in a conservative index fund. 5 years later, his portfolio surpasses those chasing the hype. Hype is ephemeral. Noise is seductive. Calm people understand that compounding is eternal. Delayed gratification, the quiet choice to wait, to act steadily, to resist impulse, is the cornerstone of lasting wealth. Lucas's patience isn't passive. It's a conscious decision to prioritize depth over flash, consistency over spectacle. In a world that celebrates instant results, the calm thrive in silence, confident that slow, steady growth outpaces any temporary thrill. The lesson begins to crystallize. Time favors the disciplined, the patient, the quiet. And with that understanding, we explore another tool for wealth: minimalism. Principle 6. Minimalism as a wealth strategy. Lily keeps her 10-year-old car. She skips trendy gadgets. Each dollar she doesn't spend, she invests. Friends marvel at her restraint. Few understand that this simplicity accelerates her financial freedom. Minimalism isn't deprivation. It's intentional allocation. Calm people recognize that unnecessary consumption is a silent tax on their future. Every avoided expense compounds quietly, creating independence and resilience. Lily's strategy transforms lifestyle into leverage. Less noise means more capital. Less distraction means more focus. And in this quiet economy of choices, she builds a life less dictated by social pressure, more guided by long-term vision. By choosing simplicity, Lily embodies a principle that threads through every act of calm wealth. The world can be loud, but the individual can still cultivate peace. And peace begins with connections. Principle 7. Networks of substance. Owen mentors colleagues in the evenings rather than attending ostentatious networking events. Years later, those relationships quietly unlock consulting opportunities. No applause. No spectacle. Just steady influence. Calm individuals prioritize authenticity over status. Relationships are cultivated with intention, not performance. Substance compounds. Trust and reliability become invisible currency that yields opportunities over decades. Owen's quiet networks illustrate that wealth is relational as much as financial. Connections built in silence and authenticity outperform the flashiest social displays. When we value depth over attention, influence accumulates unobtrusively. Understanding this, the observer begins to see the power of continuous learning, the final active force of calm wealth. Principle 8. Continuous quiet learning. Hannah reads finance books nightly instead of scrolling social media. A decade later, she runs multiple streams of income created quietly through knowledge, not chance. Learning compounds like money. Calm people invest time in understanding, in skills, and insight. Each page, each reflection, each quiet study session strengthens the architecture of their financial independence. Hannah's education is invisible to others but transformative. The quiet accumulation of wisdom parallels the quiet growth of assets. In a noisy world, knowledge becomes the ultimate form of leverage. The stage is set for reflection. Wealth isn't only numbers. It is patience, discipline, and presence. Principle 9. Wealth in silence. At dusk, Margaret sits by candlelight reviewing her monthly accounts. The growth is modest, yet she smiles. No announcements. No envy. Time and consistency have yielded peace. Calm wealth begins in the mind. Patience, discipline, and awareness precede external reward. Those who chase spectacle often miss the quiet compounding that creates enduring security. By focusing inward, Margaret has separated transient desire from lasting value. Her financial calm is a mirror of her emotional clarity. Every decision, every refusal, every quiet investment aligns with her inner life. In silence, the world's noise fades. Security is built, not broadcast. Peace becomes the reward, wealth a byproduct. And as the observer internalizes these rhythms, they begin to recognize their own opportunities for calm accumulation. The external world is distracting, loud, and fleeting. Yet the mind that cultivates patience and clarity becomes the true engine of enduring freedom. Principle 10. The lasting advantage. Robert walks along a quiet park path. Neighbors flaunt new cars, vacations, flashy lifestyles. He notices only briefly. His steady investments, unseen, have funded freedom, comfort, and choice. No announcements, no fanfare, just presence. Calmness compounds. Silence protects. Wealth built quietly is resilient. It endures because it is aligned with intention, not performance. The advantage of restraint, patience, and measured action is enduring, outlasting every noise, every trend, every fleeting display. In observing this, the truth settles. Wealth is not attention. It is clarity, consistency, and quiet confidence. To act without applause, to grow without spectacle, to live without constant comparison. This is the final frontier of freedom. Because real wealth doesn't shout. It whispers in silence. If you're quietly building your own version of success, comment discipline. Subscribe and walk the quieter path toward wealth and self-mastery.